Welcome back to Iron Completionist, the series where I'm aiming to fill the collection log and do all of the completable, non-repeatable content in RuneScape. The last episode was packed with big items like the final Crystal Armor Seed for the Crystal Helmet, and of course the Hydra's Claw for the Dragon Hunter Lance, both of which open some pretty huge doors for bossing. Now since this is episode 10, I wanted to do something big, so we're going on a pet hunt. Also, if you guys are enjoying this series, make sure to subscribe because I'm really trying to hit 100,000 subscribers, and don't be afraid to like the video as well. Before we get any further, I want to talk to you guys about the sponsor of this video, Opera GX. Now, I've been using this browser for quite a while, and let me tell you, making the switch is totally worth it. Sometimes I'm multitasking way more than I should, like listening to music and watching videos, and that might make me start to lag, but that can be fixed with GX Control. This panel lets you directly choose how the browser will affect your computer's performance. Listening to music or watching YouTube while doing something intense in-game? No problem, because this lets you limit the bandwidth, RAM, and CPU that Opera is using, which really helps you reduce any lag you might be getting while gaming. If that wasn't convincing enough, here is literally the difference between me having the same tabs open in Google Chrome and Opera GX, and you can see how big that difference is. Another thing that really annoyed me with other browsers was how I constantly had to rotate tabs to keep up with everything that I was doing. With Opera's accessibility, that's no longer a problem. I can browse around Twitch to see if my favorite streamers are live, I can check my Discord without having to minimize any other games, which is especially useful when I'm playing full screen games, and you can even check Messenger apps directly from the sidebar. And with GX Player, you can log into Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music directly from the sidebar. Whenever you start streaming video or audio in your browser tabs, GX Player automatically pauses and resumes once that tab is finished. On top of all of that, Opera GX is now also available on mobile. So if you guys want to help me out and also make your gaming and internet browsing experience way better, try out Opera GX by downloading via the link at the top of the description. I am dedicating this whole video to getting a pet. Yep, it's episode 10 and I want to do something special. Pets are part of the collection log and part of completionism, so let's set our sights high. A while ago I came up with the idea of literally AFKing Sarachnis in this video here, and it actually worked. Now, I don't have an Inquisitor's Mace, but I do have a Hasta, and hilariously enough, I do have an Ellie, which should be more than enough to do this. But first things first, I need to get some blood shards. Now, there are two methods to obtaining blood shards. The first is killing Firewatch Sentinels at a rate of 1 in 1500, but that's very slow because you can only kill a couple hundred per hour. You're limited because you have to use the Blisterwood weapon. However, the other method, which is pickpocketing Vires, is a rate of 1 in 5000. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's way worse. That's over 3 times as rare. However, you can pickpocket far more Vires per hour than you can kill, and also thanks to the Rogue's outfit, when you successfully pickpocket a blood shard, just like the Elven teleport crystal method I did in a previous video, you will get 2 of them. Now, it's still a pretty arduous grind to get to that drop rate, but once you're there, you get 2 blood shards, which is 20,000 hits, and should last a decent amount of time. I'm not sure how long I'm going to try pickpocketing for, but I am going to be taking advantage of the Shadow Veil spell, because I guess it stacks with dodgy necklaces to make fails not as bad, or not as likely. So, I'm not honestly entirely sure what it does, but people say it's good, so, I trust the people that are smarter than me. So if I had to estimate, I'm going to be getting somewhere around probably 800 to maybe 1,000 pickpockets per hour once I get this down. But counting banking time and everything, it's probably going to be closer to 800. So that still puts me at 2 blood shards every, 6 or 7 hours, which is a hell of a lot better than AFKing Firewatch Sentinels, which is probably what I'll just do in my downtime. Yo, there it is right there. There's one on the ground and one in my inventory. That is the double blood shard drop, and that is absolutely beautiful. It didn't honestly take as long as I thought, although I'll admit I was very, very frequently forgetting to use the Shadow Veil spell. But, that's pretty good. I'll probably finish out this inventory in case we somehow get stupidly lucky, and I might have to come back for more. I'm not sure how long 3 blood shards is actually going to last at Sarachnis, but I guess we'll see. No way! Oh my god, I was joking! I didn't think I would actually get that lucky. Oh my god! I was literally getting ready to teleport. I'm out of food. I have nothing to heal up with. And I actually got a second set of blood shards in that inventory. To clarify, I mean, at current prices, there's 25.5 million GP from this one inventory. That's phenomenal. And each one of these represents 10,000 charges. So we have one in the bank as well. That's 50,000 charges for a Blood Fury. Honestly, I'm probably set for a while. I'll still use my downtime to like AFK melee, but wow, okay. So normally you would be able to just throw these blood shards on a Fury. However, I have an ornamented Fury, and the ornament kit isn't storable. So either way, it's going to take up the same amount of bank slots as if I just go get another Fury, and I'm just going to do that. I have 177,000 Chaos Runes anyway that I'm probably never going to really do anything with. So let's go make another Fury. Alright, let's make this bad boy real quick. I've already cut the Onyx because I thought I had a gold bar the first time, but I did not. There is the Onyx Amulet. Go ahead and enchant it. Bam, extra Amulet of Fury, and now we use the Blood Shards on it. I am aware I will not get the Blood Shard back. There is the Amulet of Blood Fury, and then we use another one on it. And then we use another one on it. And there we go. Now my Amulet of Blood Fury has 30,000 hits. Now these hits actually only degrade when you have a successful hit. So a 0 will not use a charge unless the 0 was just a successive roll over the defense and you happen to actually hit a 0, but that doesn't happen very often. Now, I chose to do Sarachnis for a couple of reasons, one of which is the Giant Egg Sac, the only item in the collection log that I currently have for Sarachnis. Now, by the time I get to 3,000 kills here, I should have a lot of these, which means I'll never have to really worry about getting red spider eggs again, and as an iron, getting red spider eggs is probably one of my least favorite activities for Herblore, and you need them for super restores, which I'm going to be using a lot on this series. On top of that, there's 3 other slots here. I would really like to get the pet. I'm pretty much definitely going to get a cudgel, and hopefully I'll get the jar along the way as well. The pet drop rate here is 1 in 3,000, and that's the amount of kills I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to set myself a goal of staying until the pet because you guys know me, and I could end up going 2, 3, 4, 5 times dry, and honestly, this video is already going to take well over a month to produce. I really don't want it to take 6. So, yeah, 3,000 kills, it's a lot. Let's see if we manage to get the pet in that. I'm expecting this grind to take probably around 2 months. Now, that could be really, really incorrect in terms of maybe it takes longer or maybe it takes way less time. But the reason I'm expecting it to take this long is because, 1, the boss isn't insanely fast to kill, but also, I'm going to be doing things like birdhouse runs in between as much as I can, and I'm going to be doing every single clue scroll that I get from Sarachnis. And to those of you who don't know, Sarachnis drops clues really, really frequently. One more thing I have to do really quick before we can actually start with the gear and everything is make myself some divine super combats. They help a lot with this method because you don't use brews here, so might as well have the highest stats the whole time. Is it optimal in terms of kills per hour? Absolutely not. But I'm going to be doing the AFK Sarachnis method because honestly, if I'm going to be here for at least a month, I want to actually enjoy my life afterwards. So this is the first setup I'm going to be using. I don't know if the Hasta Ellie is going to be better than the Dins, so I might actually change that out, but we'll give it some test runs and just see which is better. I'm also going to be using Thralls during the kill because I feel like I can summon one at the start, they last a minute, and it's probably worth the prayer points to do it, so yeah, I don't see why not. Well, I got through that first kill using absolutely 0 food. Now, I'm going to be using a decent amount of prayer potions to do this, but I'm not super worried about that because I still have like 1,000 Renar seeds in the bank. The only issue is getting the snape grass, but again, I can just loot that if it comes down to it. Now, obviously, the point of this gear and method is to be able to fully AFK. However, when I am paying attention, I'm still going to be clicking the boss and not letting myself auto-retaliate on the minions to save myself charges on my Blood Fury. I'm not a main, I can't just buy more blood shards, so this method is maybe a little bit more tedious on an iron, and if I end up using blood shard charges too quickly, I might just have to go back to the normal Sarachnis method, which is quite a bit more effort. Now, each trip here lasts me about 20 minutes, and while actively clicking the boss this time, I got myself 13 kills. Now, if you count bank time and everything, that means I should be getting around 35 kills per hour. However, I was actively clicking on this trip instead of just letting the AFK method take its course, which is probably closer to about 25 kills per hour. Which means, not counting clue scroll time, this is going to take around 120-ish hours to complete this grind, and clue scrolls are obviously going to probably double that time. But honestly, I'm looking at some of the loot and it's really not bad. I mean, there's a good amount of gems, which, you know, technically are alchables if I need the money at some point. Grubby keys are going to return a good amount of supplies, probably in the long run. It's not terrible. And based on the number of Blood Fury charges that I'm using, it looks like it's about 15 to 20 charges per kill. So that's not too bad. It's a bit more than I was expecting, but not terrible. Hey, there's our first giant egg sack. These are going to be super freaking nice for me because each one of them is 100 red spider eggs. And red spider eggs, they're not super difficult to collect, but getting them passively by doing this grind is just going to make things just really, really nice. I won't have to worry about it for quite a while. And there we go. There is the first 100 KC at Sarachnis done. So far, so good. No complaints. It's pretty chill. Got myself a mime random while doing my birdhouse run and got the mime gloves and the mime legs. That's actually pretty big. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that means the only random event item that I'm missing is now the stale baguette. I still need some of the emotes as well, so I'm still going to do the emote ones, but that means really just Quizmasters left to go. Hey, finally, there's our first clue scroll. I was kind of wondering if I was doing something wrong here or what, but there we go, first elite. Now, I've been here for like 5 or so hours, but it's still day 1, and I'm at around 150 KC. I want to try using the Din's Bulwark for a little bit now, because it does attack a little bit slower, but the kill times are similar from what I remember experiencing when I tried this out originally. Meaning, I'll technically be using less Blood Fury charges. And also, I'm not sure if Blood Fury charges get used on spec, but if they don't, then the Din's Bulwark spec is going to be pretty freaking strong here. Alright, well, after checking how the spec works, it definitely does still use 1 charge of the Blood Fury for everything that it damages, so probably not worth using? At least I don't think so. Alright, well, even though it's not bad, I'm not going to continue using the Dins. This is the first time I've actually had to tally out without finishing my entire Divine Super Combat, so I feel like that kind of speaks enough on its own to tell me that Ellie, even though I'm going to be using the Blood Fury charges a little bit faster since it's a 4-tick weapon versus a 5-tick weapon, Asta and Ellie's just going to be better. Well, I am just shy of 1/4 of a blood shard down the drain already, and I'm using these charges a lot faster than I originally anticipated, which is obviously not great because I don't really want to have to go back and get more of them. Even though I got lucky, it's still a massive time sink to get blood shards, so I don't know. I guess I might just go with the generic regular kill method and only use this method when I need to AFK. Hey, there's another elite and a grubby key. Hey, that is 300 KC now, coming in with an elite clue scroll as well. I've had way more elites than hard clues from Sarachnis so far, which, you know, I'm kind of okay with. Elites are generally harder to come by, so works for me. I've been here for probably between 12 and 14 hours now. I don't know. I haven't been focusing too hard just yet, but it's coming along. Oh, okay. There is our first Sarachnis Cudgel on 305 KC. Pretty good. Unfortunately, it's not better than what I have, but it is a collection log slot, and that means that we just now need the 2 extremely rare items from here, the Jar of Eyes, and of course the pet, which is the main goal of being here. I'm probably going to end up getting quite a few of these by the time I get the pet, but obviously the first one's pretty good. Oh, 2 bird eggs from one birdhouse? Whew. Hey, there's another cudgel on KC 391. Alright, cudgel number 2. How many are we going to have by the end? I'm guessing like 16. And there we go. That is 400 KC. And I'm trying to juggle some food here. 400 KC at Sarachnis. And as you can see, I'm using a bit of a different setup now. Since I'm not really AFKing that much anyway, I figured I might as well use a legitimate gear setup and just kind of switch into the Blood Fury whenever I need to get some heals. It's a lot more effort, but it's also a bit faster for kills, so might as well try it out. And this way I save a few charges on the Blood Fury, so I won't have to go and get as many more blood shards. Didn't even realize I have long passed 500 KC. I'm enjoying this method a lot more. It's definitely more effort, but it is saving a lot more charges on the Blood Fury, which means that I might not even have to get more blood shards if I'm stopping at 3000 KC, which, as of right now, that's what I'm thinking. If I'm still enjoying this when I get there, then maybe I'll go a little past that if we don't have the pet yet, but, you know, here's hoping we just have the pet by then. Not many things left to record at this point besides, like, do cudgels and stuff. So I guess I'll see you guys at milestone KCs or cudgels. And just past 600 KC, 700 KC. It's Arachnus Cudgel, number 3, I believe. Just realized that was 1,000 kill count at Arachnus. Pretty big milestone. I mean, it's been a minute, I think, since I've really recorded anything here. I'm still having a good time, but I'll admit it is getting a little bit less fun than when I first started, so I think that I'll probably say that the pet rate of about 3,000 kill count is gonna be my stopping point. Well, there is 1,200 KC at Arachnus now, getting pretty close to halfway to the drop rate, which is kind of cool. And there is 1,300 KC. Some other stuff is going to be coming out soon and other things I want to focus on, so I might switch back to doing a more AFK method soon, which is going to slow down the kills quite a bit. Well, I'm pretty sure that's the first time I've actually died there. I wasn't paying attention, and I was playing a different account at the same time as doing this, which maybe is not the best idea, but damn it. I think for now, since I'm focusing on some other accounts while I do this, and just doing real-life stuff, it makes more sense for me to just, you know, go back to the main reason that I was doing this boss in the first place. Because it's supposed to be AFK-able. That was kind of the entire reason that I chose this boss, so screw it. If I run out of Blood Fury charges, I'll just go get more Blood Shards. 1,400 KC, it's definitely a heck of a lot slower when I'm primarily AFKing it, but honestly, I mean, that's the point. Needed to regain a little bit of the sanity, so AFK. There we go, that is 1,500 KC at Arachnus. So we are officially halfway to the pet drop rate. I just keep switching between the AFK setup and the active setup at this point. That's probably what I'm going to be doing the rest of the way. If I feel like paying attention, you know, I'll pay attention. And if I don't, I'll just AFK. If I run out of Blood Fury charges, At this point, I'm pretty much settled on the idea of I will be stopping at the pet drop rate, whether we have the pet or not. This is pretty good for certain supplies, though. I can't admit that, and I'm excited to show you guys the haul at the end. Yeah, I actually completely ran out of hop seeds to keep doing birdhouse runs in between my Arachnus kills, so I decided to just buy them this time at the farming guild, since all the worlds were pretty much full stock, and I now have, you know, what, like 15, 20,000, so I should be good for a little while again. There is 1,600 KC at Arachnus. Took a little break to do some other stuff, but you guys will probably see that in the next video. Well, my shadow play just decided to randomly stop working, but that's the first Arachnus cudgel that I've seen in a long time on 1,632 KC. At least I think it's been a long time. I can't remember the last KC I had one on. Yo! The Jar of Eyes! I'm actually really happy about that. 1,676 KC. The Jar of Eyes is actually a 1 in 2,000 drop rate, so that's really cool. I'm super happy about that. That means that if we get the pet, we have a full log at Arachnus, and that is, I don't know, man, that's awesome. I'm stoked. Well, instead of wasting space in my bank with this, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it onto the display here, and you know what? That looks pretty good. I kind of like it. It definitely looks nice. I mean, I don't know why, man. This display thing is a lot nicer than I remember it being. I'll take it. Jars don't really have too much use other than this, but it's still cool. And there is 1,700 KC. Swinging on through 1,800 KC. Hey, there we go. There's another Arachnus cudgel. That is number 5? 1,900 KC. Well, I finally got the clue step that requires me to do the new Land of the Goblins quest, so I guess I will go ahead and knock that out. Just kidding, I gotta go wait for some toad flax to grow, so I guess I'll do this later. And there is a huge milestone, 2,000 kill count at Arachnus. A little hard to believe that I've done pretty much nothing but this for quite a while now, but 1,000 kills left to go until we hit the pet drop rate and figure out if we are lucky enough to get it, or if we're gonna have to just call it there and come back another time. Way back in episode 1 of this series, I killed a bunch of skeletal wyverns attempting to go for a draconic visage. I don't know if you guys remember, but we got a ton of Renar seeds and snap seeds while doing that. Thanks to my consistently inconsistent farm runs while doing Arachnus, I am now out of Snapdragon seeds. This is the last Snapdragon seed that I have, and I have over 3,000 of them in the bank at this point, which is gonna be really, really useful when I start doing next, which is probably what I'm gonna start doing in the next episode. In preparation, I've actually also used some of these already, and we have almost 3,000 4-dose Super Restores and 3,000 4-dose Brews. So, I don't know, man. As an Iron, that is just beautiful. $2,100 KC. 2,200 KC, just 800 to go, and honestly, I'll be pretty happy to be done with this at this point. It's grown quite monotonous. Hey, there's another Sarachnis Cudgel on KC 2246. I honestly, at this point, have forgotten the drop rate of this, so I don't know if we're lucky or not, but, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter either way. 2,300 and still climbing. 2,400 KC, 80% of the way there. I'm gaining back some of that motivation, just because we're getting pretty close to the finish line at this point. And there's 2,600 KC, just 400 left to go. I am excited to see different terrain. 2,700 KC, 90% of the way there, man. Just 300 more kills to go, like 2,800 KC. Oh my god, I'm getting so excited because I can finally do something else soon. And that is 2,900 KC, just 100 left to go. Alright, just one more decent hit, and there it is. Unless we get the pet exactly on the drop rate here, 3,000 KC at Sarachnis is done, and that's where I'm going to draw the line. I don't want to... Ironically enough, these choice of words are going to be a bit weird here. I don't want to overinvest here, like I was at the Skeletal Wyverns way back in episode 1. Now, 3,000 KC is still really nuts, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the screenshot from Runelight and show you guys all the stuff we got. Now, looking at this is a lot more loot than I expected to get. First of all, we got over 150 giant egg sacs, which is 15,000 red spider eggs. I should be set on those for a while. And 216 grubby keys. Most of the other stuff is just alkables and whatnot, but if I pull up the collection log here for Sarachnis, we did get everything except the pet, which isn't that bad. Considering we just hit the drop rate for it, I probably will come back at some point, or maybe if I'm doing Boost Slayer and get spider tasks, I can always come to Sarachnis and do them here. Like I said though, I did however get an absolute ton of grubby keys, and I still really want to open all of them. I have no idea how I'm going to do this because I don't know how many I can fit per inventory. I don't know if it's worth it to try and fit as many as I can per inventory, so let's go figure out the semantics of that. So to those of you that don't know what grubby keys are actually used for, since not many people engage with this piece of content aside from PvP hardcores, you run into the southwest corner of the Forthos dungeon, and there's the chest here. Every time you open it, it uses a grubby key, and as you can see, you get a decent amount of stuff out of it, which includes potions and sharks, but those things aren't noted. On top of that, you do get noted herbs, though, and runes and coins, and a couple other pretty decent drops from it. So, mostly going to be focusing on the nice noted stuff, but I am going to only do a few keys per inventory because I feel like it's probably worth it to bank some of these potions. After literally the second trip, I've already decided it's probably not super worth it for me to try and bank all this stuff because, yeah, I'll miss out on probably a good handful of sharks and a couple of potions, but I think I'll just take like 8 keys per trip, bank what I can, and keep the potions that I'm a little low on or ones that are harder to replenish, but honestly, I don't really need to worry about range potions. I don't really need to worry about brews or restores from this because I'm not going to get enough where it's going to amount to much. Interestingly enough, I think I'm actually also going to have to hop most of the time too because the stacks of food on the ground get so big that if something good were to drop, it would just get lost in the pile. And there's our first collection log slot, the orange egg sac. Now, you guys are probably wondering, what the heck is the orange egg sac for? Well, it's used to recolor the Sarachnis pet that I got on the... Oh, yeah, that's right. There are 2 of these. I don't know if you can get duplicates once you've already had them. I imagine you can't, but they're just used to recolor the Sarachnis pet. So, yeah, I mean, whenever I do get the Sarachnis pet, I'll be able to make it both colors, but It's still collection log slots, which, ultimately is the goal of the series. The main reason I'm not keeping all the sharks and other items from this grind and just choosing to do more keys per trip is mostly because the run to get back here is probably like 60 to 90 seconds. And that might not sound like a lot, but it's gonna save me at least 2 to 3 hours if I don't pick up those sharks. And I probably could just get more sharks and food in the 2 to 3 hours that I'm saving. And there is the blue egg sac. So I don't think I'm going to be getting any more of these, but I guess we'll see. Pretty sure they're just one-hit items and you can't get them again after that. I just realized getting back to the bank that I got another blue egg sac, so I guess you can get multiples of these? That's kind of weird, but then again, I guess most people don't stack up 200 grubby keys to open. Huh. Okay, I just keep getting blue egg sacs. I actually just got them back to back. It's kind of weird. Even with dropping most of the fish on the ground, this still took me like 2-ish hours to open all of these keys, but we are finally done. I'll throw the loot up on the screen now, and it's actually pretty incredible. I mean, I got several hundred, like, Renars, a little over 100 snaps, plenty of runes. I'm pretty satisfied with that, and of course, 2 new collection log slots from the orange and blue egg sacs. And I'm sure some of you guys noticed right there, but as you can see, I've been stacking up a ton of clue scrolls. I haven't opened any of the ones I got from Sarachnis yet, which, as of right now, is totaling over 60 elite caskets. Now, that might seem a little bit confusing, because I have been working on other pieces of content while doing this 3000 Sarachnis kills grind. Like, when I really needed to AFK, I went and did Slayer or something like that for a little bit. So, it might seem a little weird, but don't worry. I do have a plan for the clue scrolls. It'll just be probably in the next episode or the one after that. Regardless, though, as you guys can imagine, this took me a very, very long time to do. This boss is not fast, especially when you're constantly stopping to do every single hard and every single elite clue scroll on top of birdhouse runs and herb runs. So if you enjoyed it, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.